Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority.
105.9 FM, WMAL. 8:07 on WMAL. Neiman, Wilson, Ham, all here today on a Monday morning, a holiday, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. So the big news in the political world, at least, is that John Huntsman dropping out of the race today, going to endorse Mitt Romney. Huge shock that he would endorse Mitt Romney, but he is getting out. Never really panned out for John Huntsman. A lot of people on the left and in the media, they seem to be on the John Huntsman bandwagon from the get-go. Remember that great unveiling of the campaign outside the Statue of Liberty in the background. Boy, that was kind of painful to watch, actually. Yeah. That was not a great moment for him.
He's pulling 7% in South Carolina right now, so coming out now and endorsing Romney, one would assume, that the people who might like John Huntsman probably would end up in the Romney camp. Romney now polling 31%. He picks up another 5%, let's say, out of that. Man, it's going to be hard to catch him in South Carolina.
I like John Huntsman. I mean, I've said that before. I mean, I think he could, had he run a better campaign, I think he'd be in a lot better shape right now.
Yeah, did he have to run as, annoying guy? Like, I'm here to annoy you. Please elect me.
Do you think that was his idea? I mean.
No, I think it was Weaver's idea, the guy whose idea it was for him to run at all. Has a way of poking conservatives in the eye.
I guess so. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. I think he got way too much praise from those on his left and got way too much hatred or animosity from those on the right. It didn't work for him, and I think it could have been a better campaign had he run actually on his record and what he is as a conservative, and his fiscal plan is pretty good. I mean, a lot of people in the Wall Street world like what he put on paper when it came to what his plans were for the economy, but it's done. It's over. He came in third place in New Hampshire, a place where he was, living for the last couple of months. Governor Bob McDonnell joins us now, the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Good to have you on, Mr. Governor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Brian, and Mary Catherine. Great to be on with you.
All right. I know you're not going to like this, but I'm going to start here. We'll just get it out of the way. All right. I know you were in South Carolina and were even introduced by a certain congressman as saying Vice President McDonnell. Any thoughts about that? Is that something you would like to have on a resume down the line?
Hey, I got the best job in America, Governor of Virginia. Same job that Henry and Jefferson had. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. There's people talking about those things, but we don't even have a nominee for our party yet. So all that is way premature. I'm focused on this session, and we'll see what happens down the road. But I got a lot of big things I want to get done in the next 60 days.
Well, I have two questions on that front. First of all, you say we don't have a nominee, but if you look at the polls in South Carolina, Mitt Romney's polling 31. One assumes that with Huntsman out of the race, a lot of Huntsman support, which is only at 7%, gets added to Romney's camp, or at least a good portion of it does. It becomes very difficult, I would imagine, for anyone to stop Mitt Romney. So if Mitt Romney becomes the nominee, does well in South Carolina, he's looking pretty good in Florida, would you consider running with him as a running mate?
Well, it's not what I consider. It's what Mitt Romney or whoever the nominee considers.
Well, I know it's a hypothetical, Governor, but I mean, if Mitt Romney does become the nominee, as it's increasingly seeming likely, and he calls you up, would you have any discomfort with running with Mitt Romney?
I think Mitt Romney is an excellent candidate. I've said from the beginning that given the lack of leadership in Washington and the problems that we've got on fiscal and job issues, and what we need is the skill set of a governor or a former governor, somebody who can balance budgets and get things done and doesn't make excuses and knows how to create jobs. So, no, I think Mitt's a terrific candidate. All I've said is, and I think it's true for any elected official, they get a call from the nominee and they say, hey, you can help our party, you can help our country. Of course people will be interested in that. But I'm not expecting or waiting for that call. I'm just trying to get things done in Washington and Richmond here, and I'll let that take its course.
Well, speaking of things going on in Richmond, Rick Perry has decided to appeal a judge's decision that he indeed cannot have ballot access in Virginia. I know you've talked about this a little bit, but is there a conversation that needs to be had in Virginia about whether the ballot access is too hard, or is it A-okay?
Well, I think it's perfectly fine to take a look at whether or not our ballot access rules, which are some of the most stringent in the country, whether or not they need to be revised. I just don't think we need to change the rules in midstream. In other words, now that the qualification process is over, to litigate or complain after the fact. Everybody's known these rules for years. They've been in place a long time. Heck, I know I went through it twice in 05 and 09 running for a statewide office. And so I don't think we ought to change it now. I want to give certainty to these military men and women overseas that those absentee ballots are going to be mailed next week, and this litigation is going to potentially interfere with that. So I think we could look at it going forward, but not change the rules now.
Okay, let's get to some local issues. I know the State of the Commonwealth speech is out there. Can you give us the shortened version of how you see things in Richmond, in the entire state of Virginia, and in where you see things going in Richmond in the next few months?
Okay, we're still coming out of the sustained recession, but we're doing better than most states. Our unemployment rate's down to 6.2%, which is the lowest in the Southeast. We've had $1 billion in surpluses the last 2 years because we've cut expenditures. We've been frugal with the taxpayers' money. But I've got some big issues that I laid out in the State of the Commonwealth that we have got to address this session. Our retirement system is got unfunded liabilities in the tune of $20 billion. I've suggested the largest investment there. Transportation maintenance needs to be fixed. I've got major K-12 reforms, major new money going into higher education so we can have more access at lower cost towards our 100,000 degree goal. Repeat drug dealers have got to be punished more harshly, and several other things that I think need to be done. But balancing the budget without raising taxes is the top priority. On
the school issue, a lot of people around here want to know how you feel about repealing the King's Dominion law, and that would allow local jurisdiction school districts to decide when school starts in Virginia.
I came out a week ago today in support of that repeal. I think local divisions are closest to the people. They know their calendar needs. We have 77 out of 132 divisions that already have waivers, so the exceptions have become the rule. I do think we need to balance it against the needs of the business community and the tourism industry, but I think that overall, making sure young people get a great education and that they have all the rigor and challenges and time in the classroom they need should be the top priority.
Governor, we talk a lot on the show about the Maryland tax structure, which seems to go up and up and up and never come down. And we get calls from folks who say, listen, I'm peacing out, I'm going to Virginia. Is that something you see actively in the Virginia economy? I'm curious. I mean, are there people who come and look for Virginia's environment?
Well, Mary Catherine, we try to create that environment where we're a magnet for both business and for individuals who want to pursue the American dream. And to me, you got to keep taxes, regulation, litigation to a minimum, and be positive about expanding job opportunities in your state. So yes, we've had companies like Bechtel and Accenture and others who have moved recently or in the process of moving to Virginia, and people do appreciate the fact that our tax structure is very good. I mean, each state's got to make its own decisions. Governor O'Malley makes his decisions for Virginia, but I think, have got the environment where people want to come here. That's why our population's up to over 8 million this year.
All right, Governor, always good to have you. By the way, I don't think I heard you say who you're endorsing.
Well, I'm uncommitted at this point.
Oh, I just thought I'd ask.
But I like a lot of those current and former governors. It looks like we're down to 2 now, Perry and Romney. So I know them both well. I think both of them would be outstanding presidents, and I may have more to say in the near future.
Oh, really? Oh, that was a tease. You're not supposed to do that to us as you're ending up the interview. You're supposed to give us a heads up on that. All right, Governor, thank you for joining us.